What's up? My name is SuperEnemy2 and I'm going to be going over how to create a regicide logic within your scenario. So the first thing we gotta do, very quickly here, is get our king down and then some test objects. So we're gonna go to trigger and it's gonna be trigger name and we want it to be looping. So it is always trying to every tick it's trying to initiate the logic and checking if the conditions are met to operate the effect, which is down here in conditions and effects. You could turn the trigger off or on with another trigger that fills in a logic that would turn off the trigger and stop from looping, and then it'll stop that live logic from continuing to try to implement. So pretty much the live logic that's trying to be continuously implemented right now is if the king is alive, all the units on the map that belong to the king stay blue. That's what we're trying to implement. So we go to objects and area. So I press let's reset this. So let's click here, go to area, reset. So I'm gonna click it and drag all the way over like this, and then I'm gonna click go to area. So that's how I know it's set. And then we're gonna inverse the condition. So when we have object in area that's 1, but we're gonna inverse it. So when there's less than 1 object in the area, and we're gonna want to look at the king. When there's less than 1 unit of the king of player 1 in the area, all of the military units of player 1 are gonna go Gaia in this area. Now I just want to point out that it's just military units, and there's 4 types of units we gotta pay attention to that the logic of how you communicate what you're trying to grab. And if you want to grab everything, you need to repeat this effect 4 times for each one of them: building, civilian, military, and others, so that it says every time there's one less than 1 unit, when there's less than 1 king in the area, you change the ownership of military, building, civilian, other. But right now we're just gonna change this just to show the point. Also, creating the trigger is gonna be time consuming, so Age of King Trigger Studio is the old way to copy effects and triggers and duplicate it across players. I have a video on it, go check it out. Age of King Trigger Studios, there's a website online. My video will help you find the website. Age of King Trigger Studio download is what you want to look on YouTube or even online, and you'll find it. It's not the easiest thing to download, so using the video to help you get started is something you might want to do. Age of King Trigger Studio download, just look it and you'll probably find it. Look up SuperEnemy2 if you still haven't found it. Also, so now that we have the kind of the idea what it is, then we gotta apply this to player 1 and all the other 7. So that's when you use Age of King Trigger Studio to duplicate the trigger across all players. I know it changed all the variables that it just makes copying a lot easier because there's lots of little things to change when you copy. But let's just do a quick test so I can show you how it works. So the king dies and all the military goes Gaia. So then I can make a logic that if a red king comes to this, like just the general area, let's just say this square, convert all the Gaia units and buildings or everything in this area to red. So it could be like a king capturing an area type thing, which could be cool for a regicide where you kill someone, all their buildings go Gaia, and then you can actually capture it. So kind of like a real life scenario of conquering Western European diplomacy. So that's where I use this logic, and I've made Western European diplomacy games with this logic, where if you kill the king, all your units go Gaia, and then if you go to points on the map, you can capture the units. But maybe it'd be interesting to, like, I don't know. Like, come up with a way to, like, use kings and heroes to push armies through battle, and if you kill the hero, then you get the army sinking. That would be a lot of cool. Like if you know, like I don't know, I'm just talking theory of talking through ideas of another scenario. Like say my hero dies or the king dies, and then another king comes in and just and then they can be captured. That might be a complex logic, but it'd be really cool dynamics. Just the idea of killing your enemy and taking what's left over, even from the resources, and I mean, there's so much you could do. It starts with the map logic. We're just looking at the logic point. Maybe some of you creators out there can use this idea to make just cool Regicide maps. But that's pretty much all you do it. Again, make sure you do military, building, civilian, and other. And there's the monks fall into other. So like monks are not civilian, military, or it just gets complicated like that. So like when you're programming, it's got to be exact, or it's just not gonna work. Like I want to point out some other things I did here. Change ownership one, so just all units. So I just said units and all military units. So I called it out, and even here I called when you have not just less than one unit, but less than one king. So like you can see how, you know what I mean. So that's about it. That's about it. Like, subscribe, and give me motivation to keep making these videos. Until next time.